Do you want to achieve more in life? Do you have goals and dreams but don't really know how to achieve them? The 10x rule written by Grant Cardone tells you the only difference between success and failure. By the end of this video, you are able to set better goals and achieve more by knowing how to take action. Stay tuned. What's up guys, welcome to a new video. If this is your first time here and you are interested in investing, personal finance and book summaries, click the subscribe button for more. Without further ado, let's get started with the 10x rule written by Grant Cardone. Cardone says that the basic series of mistakes people make when setting out to achieve goals are mistargeting, severely underestimating, spending too much time competing and not enough time dominating, and underestimating the amount of adversity they will need to overcome in order to attain their desired goal. So how can you fix those mistakes and become a successful person? Let's take a look at the main points of the book. Point number 1. You have to treat success as if it's your duty, obligation and responsibility. One major reason why people don't become successful is because they treat success as an option, not a duty. People that commit themselves to success are able to attain success repeatedly. This makes success more of a habit. Successful people seem to get lucky in life, but in fact they are just so committed to achieving success that they create their own luck. Think about Tiger Woods for example. You might think that it's just lucky that he manages to make those shots, but the truth is that he has made millions of shots before. It's just that other people see those successful shots, not the million shots he had to do to become successful. If he only thought that success is an option, he wouldn't perform those millions of shots to become successful. Point number 2. 10x goals. Cardone believes that one major reason why people don't stick to their goals and fail to accomplish them is because they fail to set them high enough from the beginning. If your goal is small, you are most likely going to go small. Let's say your goal is to become a millionaire, so you want to make $1 million. So now your aim is to make $1 million and you will take action towards that goal. But what if your goal was to make $10 million? If you miss your target, would you rather be short on your goal of $1 million or $10 million? To be successful, you want to set 10x targets. Most people set so-called realistic goals that they have been thought to be realistic by the society. But what's the point of realistic goal if it doesn't get you excited to take action every day? The point of your goal is not to be realistic, the point is to reach your maximum potential using the goal as a fuel for your actions. Remind yourself every day about your goals by writing them down every morning when you wake up and every night before you go to sleep. Also write them down in the comments and let me know about your goals. Point number 3. 10x action. There are 4 degrees of action, which are doing nothing, retreating, taking normal levels of action, and taking massive action. As mentioned earlier, successful people seem lucky, but in fact they are the ones taking massive action. There are no shortcuts to success, the more action you take, the better your chances are. Let's take a closer look at all 4 degrees of action so you can identify whether or not you should improve your actions. To do nothing. These people no longer take any action in order to learn, achieve or control. They lack the purpose in life, live in boredom and complacency and justify this with excuses. The retreaters. These people take action in reverse to avoid negative experiences that they think will come from taking action. They want to avoid negative experiences they have had before. They also justify their actions with excuses. The normal levels of action. This degree is the most prevalent in our society. It's what we see everywhere and think is a normal level of action. This is what makes the middle class and is considered acceptable. This also doesn't make you successful. It makes you average, creates a normal life and career, but is that what you really want? You are not using your full potential here either. The massive action. This is the degree you want to be in to achieve success. You need to approach every day like your life depends on it. Make thousands of phone calls, emails, visits and so on. People will start to criticize you, but that's a good sign. It means that you are on your way to success. Those that operate on levels 1 to 3 want to make it seem wrong what you are doing to make themselves feel better. Use this massive action to make yourself seen everywhere. While you might think this degree is impossible, it really is the most natural state for us. Remember when you were a kid, you were in constant action until you were taught how to act by the society. Now that you have identified which level of action taker you are, you want to aim for the massive action. Levels 1 to 3 are for average people, and as Cardone says, average is a failing formula. Being average never yields more than average, and usually it yields even much less than average. The reason you want to take massive action is that you want to be seen everywhere and every time. You want people to know who you are and think about you. You might think that this aggressive action taking is going to make your customer satisfaction worse, but customer satisfaction is the wrong target. You want to be seen everywhere to acquire more customers. You can't have customer satisfaction without having customers first. Point number 4. Assume control for everything. As mentioned earlier, the low levels of action takers justify their actions with excuses. They are also the ones that take no responsibility and blame others for their problems. To be successful, you should assume control for everything, even if you really aren't the one that causes the situation. Let's imagine, for example, that there is a storm coming and all the electricity goes out for a week. What unsuccessful people say is that they can't control the weather, and then they blame the electricity company for not fixing the problem fast enough. But successful people learn from this and they take control of the situation instead. For example, they decide to buy a generator so that the next time this happens, they can still have working electricity. Or they move to a different place where the storms don't happen so often. Always assume that you are in control and learn what you can do better next time. Point number 5. Fear, criticism, obsession. All these 3 listed are things that you will notice when you are heading towards success. They are something that average people try to avoid or think that they are a bad thing. But in fact, you should embrace these 3. Fear means that you are doing things outside of your comfort zone. This is the only way to become a better person. If you stay in your comfort zone, you will only get the results that you already have. As mentioned earlier, average people start to criticize successful people to feel better about themselves not taking enough action. Obsession is seen as a negative thing, but think about successful people. They are all obsessed with their mission. All the athletes want to become number 1 and they do everything to get there. It's funny how obsession is a bad thing for people, but when you become successful, people see it as a sign of genius. So don't be afraid of fear and criticism and be so obsessed with your mission that you go all in every day. Keep adding wood to your fire until you have burnt the place down. There is no failure unless you quit, so don't rest and stop, ever. Point number 6. Competition is for sissies. You don't want to compete, you want to dominate. When you are competing, you are focusing on what others are doing, not thinking creatively what you should be doing. Your goal should never be to compete, it should be to dominate your sector. Study others' best practices, but don't copy them, create your own way to do things. Do what others are not willing to do, because this gives you an unfair advantage. So those are the main points of the book, The 10x Rule, written by Grant Cardone. Cardone also mentions some habits and traits between successful and unsuccessful people, which shortly put are: successful people take action while others are still thinking and analyzing, take risks while others are playing it safe, and focus on opportunities instead of trying to avoid problems. If you want to know more about the mindset and habits of successful people, you can watch my previous book summary for the book Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. To summarize this video, you want to see success as your duty, not as an option. You want to have 10x goals that inspire you to take action every day. It's better to be short on your goal to $10 million than $1 million. You want to take massive action instead of lower levels of action. Lower levels are for average, and average is a failing formula. Assume control over everything and don't blame others for what happens in your life. Embrace fear, criticism, and obsession. Fear and criticism are great indicators that tell you that you are on the right path to success. And obsession keeps you trying to achieve your goal. And lastly, you don't want to compete, you want to dominate. Thank you for watching this video. If you find this video helpful, feel free to like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe for more future videos on personal finance, investing, and book summaries. On the screen you can find other videos that you might be interested in and my social medias that you can follow too. Have a nice day and I'll see you later.